Hey YouTube, I'm James Sinclair, and on Boxing Day I made a documentary about building a £1 million business in a pandemic. People love the documentary and you can go and watch it by clicking here. But before we go any further, let me tell you what I'm doing in this video. I'm talking about all the burning questions that you may have had after watching that video that I didn't answer. I've got the Mac in front of me with all the comments and questions that we got on the video where people were a little bit confused, and I'm going to de-confuse you in this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell, because that's the smart thing to do if you want to grow your business. Let's do this. Right, let me just explain to you what happened March 2020, in case you've forgotten. I'm sure you haven't, but the UK, like most of the world, was plunged into a lockdown. Business owners were panicky. They were scared. They were thinking, how are we going to pay the bills? What government support was there going to be? Because in the early days, like early March, late March, we didn't know any of this stuff. Now, I know furlough then turned up and there were some government grants, but not all businesses got them. We certainly didn't get hardly any grants at all. So we were working very hard to try and work out ways to generate revenue. So we opened a farm shop and we done some events, and we opened a Christmas shop, and we documented that whole journey in the documentary, which you can watch. Let me remind you again, you can go and watch that by clicking just above my head right here, and that will take you to the £1 million documentary pandemic challenge. Now, people watched that and we got literally hundreds of comments after releasing the documentary. It's a 40-minute doc. It's great fun to watch because it's been documented over 9 months, so you really get to see that story unfold. And I think there's some great things that you can swipe and deploy from that documentary to implement into your business. But people had some questions. Now, we were very careful not to divulge about the profit that we made from the business because we hadn't done a full year yet. But I'm happy to tell you now, I think we contributed about 200,000 into our central pot. Now, we're quite a large business. We employ 500 people. We own a chain of day nurseries. We own a chain of indoor play centres. We own a teddy bear making business. We've made over 1 million teddy bears. What we do is each business has to contribute to our central pot, if you like. So this new revenue stream contributed about 200,000 into our head office. It's how multi-chain businesses usually work. So you've got McDonald's, you've got 150 McDonald's restaurants. Every single one of them has to contribute to the head office, where the marketing's paid, where the central team are paid, the accounts team are paid, and that's how we work. So the business generated a £200,000 contribution into our central business. So that is a way of saying profit, if you like. David Tennyson asked me this after watching the documentary. James, this is a great episode. Just shows what you can do with grit and determination. And that's really what we wanted to do by making this documentary. Even in a pandemic, there is still opportunities, and that's what we wanted to prove. You should document all you do, like a day in the life of James. It would be good, and I'm sure filled with some sound advice. Love the weird-looking cow things. I don't remember the weird-looking cow things. What are they, Chuds? You have no idea.
Did you mention it in the zoo at the end when you was talking about a zoo?
Oh, yes. So basically, the next doc that we're making, by the way, guys, which is coming out on Easter Monday, is we've bought a zoo. It's closed down. It's closed because of the pandemic, and we're going to be documenting the story of reopening it. I will be releasing that. Now, a day in the life of James. Now, that's how we started on YouTube. We made this documentaries, daily documentaries, like, if you like, a day in the life of why I do my business, called Backstage Business. You can go and watch them now. I put a link to one of them above my head right now, and basically this did document what I do in my daily life. We made about 300 episodes of that. So David, yes, we've done that. Please go and watch them. Rory says, what a waste of time and effort just to lose money. No way that you made any profit from all that investment. If you want to make money, why don't you just follow the money? 2021 will be no better than 2020. If you can't see that, you deserve to fail. I replied to Rory, love you too. Now, we did make some money. I told you we made about a £200,000 contribution. I think what Rory's failing to understand is anything that we've invested, we would depreciate over 3 years. So like the big tops, for example, we bought a £20,000 big top, we depreciate over 3 years or 5 years. But even if we put all the capital expenditure into the cost of it, we still made money, Rory. Look, yeah, I think 2021 is going to be a huge struggle. There's no two ways about it. But I do think there's going to be some opportunities for those people that want to go forward. For example, I still see a huge opportunity in our childcare business and our outdoor attractions. We've bought this second outdoor attraction. We've opened 2 more day nurseries. Rory, I'll tell you now, our business generates about £10 million in turnover and makes about £1 million of EBITDA a year. That's earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. Even in this year, Rory, we've lost about 500,000 of our usual £1 million profit, but I still think we're going to make between 400 and 500,000 of EBITDA. Considering that our businesses were locked down for 6 months out of the 12, I'm still hugely impressed with that. And this challenge has helped us do that. Jay And CF said, hi James, in June and July, I see the farm shop had returning customers at 54% and 61%, but then it dropped to 13% in August and 7% in September, despite the sales increasing. What happened to reduce the returning customer? Now, I'll explain here. We use Shopify to run our online sales and Shopify to run our point of sale, and it all sort of feeds into this funnel of data. We showed this on the documentary. We showed little screenshots of what was happening on Shopify. The reason was, at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was buying online, so we knew exactly who was buying. As we opened the doors to the shop, people were coming in and we were getting more point of sale, like direct in-store sales. They was increasing hugely, exponentially increasing, and our online sales were falling. So that's why that data then skewed so much. If we'd have kept just doing online sales, I think we would have seen that high returning customer ratio. And our online sales, they just turned into walk-in sales, which is a real lesson really, because everyone's saying, oh, everyone wants to do everything online. Everyone wants to do everything online. No one wants to shop in physical shops. As soon as the doors were open and people are allowed to come in the shops, we started seeing a huge rise in face-to-face sales. And I still think the internet's important. We still got online sales, but I think to have both, because at the end of the day, we're human beings, we're leisure people, we want to do days out. That's why garden centres have gone like gangbusters this year. Ben Wheeler said, interesting watch how much net profit was made and how many jobs did this help to secure out of your 500 staff? Well, Ben, I've said we made about 200,000 contribution into our head office from doing this. So far, we haven't had to make anyone fully redundant at any of our businesses. We've had to make some very difficult decisions, cut some hours, had complications of furlough coming into the mix, but so far we have maintained to keep most of our staff, and that's been one of our big aims this year, just because we think that's the right thing to do. GMD 654, what was the profit loss on the 676 revenue? I've said about 200,000 contribution. Lawyer 104, cracking effort, James, what was your net profit? Look, I've said a £200,000 contribution. When it nets down and you take everything, it will be less than that. A contribution into our head office to pay for our head office, to pay for our insurance and everything like that, by doing this, generated £200,000 to help keep our business going. They're the main questions that I'd like to answer. Hopefully you're going to watch the Easter Monday documentary when we get the zoo open. My team are going to be working really hard over the next 10 to 12 weeks to try and make that happen. It's a farm park / zoo. We're super excited about it. We're documenting the whole journey here on the YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet, please go and check out my last 3 videos about online advertising. I done one about Facebook ads, do they work? I done one about selling on Amazon, and I've done one on Google Ads. You can watch the latest one on Facebook ads here, and don't forget that you can subscribe to the channel by clicking here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.